In this lesson, we're going to learn about how we can sell our service as a video on the project catalog section. So if you notice when we search for a certain talent, right here I search for graphic design, some of these cover photos are actually videos. You can see when I go on it, it's a video, and this person right here is selling his service in a form of an animation. A logo designed for a brand identity from your imagination to reality. We get this really cool logo motion, but some of these are photo covers. So there is a selection of people who use videos as their cover. You could choose which ones you want to stick with. Generally with videos, the pros to that is that you can take that video, upload it on Upwork for your project, but at the same time, use that video on other social medias to advertise your service on Upwork. So in that video, you're going to explain to them the service and convince them to want to work with you. And then at the end, you would be like, head over to my Upwork profile and get started today. So you could use that video on other platforms to advertise your service on Upwork. You could do the same thing with images, but videos are generally more engaging than images. You can put a good background music, a professional voiceover, some great graphics or videos, and that way just engage the people who come across your service. So this was one example of a video. This is related to logo design. There's also in the animation and motion graphics section, you can see that we have a lot more. So this person is showing their creative 2D explainer videos. We have a photorealistic 3D rendering of your product, more engaging than if it were just this photo. We have a promo for your website. This way I can imagine my website. I'm the client right now. My website in that computer right now. And it's going to look a lot cooler than if I just did that myself. Let's see, we got GIF files, mobile app promo. And videos are, like we said, a great way to advertise your service. So I recommend thinking about it and seeing if it's possible for you, of course. If you know how to edit videos and you know how to do voiceovers, then it's okay, you don't have to pay as much. But if you don't know how to do those, you can always just either hire a freelancer to do that for you or just ask a friend to do it. Let's try a third category. So here I'm getting a sneak peek of the voiceover talent. And you could just see what video suits your service and your field of work. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about how we can make an engaging video introduction for your service. Regardless of what field of work you're in, we have different examples for different fields of work. So let's get started and see what are the steps to making a good video introduction. So the first step is to ask the question. The client just came across your video and you want to start the first sentence in a way that is going to be related to them. So instead of starting off with something unrelated to the client, for example, hi, my name is Maria. Hello, I'm a graphic designer. You want to start with a question that directly relates to that client. So let's take a look at some questions that are suitable for these types of videos. Do you want your website to be #1 on Google? Are you tired of boring blog posts? Do you want to be remembered for your brand? Are you struggling to explain your business to the public? So these questions directly relate to the client. The client is going to see these and they could be like, oh yes, I am indeed struggling to explain my business to the public. And if their answer is yes to the question that of course relates to your field of work, then they would continue watching that video. But if the answer is no, then they would just go past it. But if they're coming to your service, the answer would most likely be a yes. So if you are a SEO specialist, you would want to put a question like this. The only reason the client would come to your service, which they found by searching SEO on Upwork, is because they do want their website to be number one on Google, or at least show up in the Google search results. So by directly jumping to the main reason why the client is here, you're going to cut through all the unnecessary details and tell the client that, hey, I know you've seen a lot of services and you're just confused which one to pick. I'm just going to give you exactly what you're looking for. So watch the rest of the video. Ask a question like this, be direct, and then if the answer is yes to these questions, which 90% it would be yes, they would continue to watch the rest of the video. So think of this question as the hook that is going to grab the client into the details of your service. Now let's take a look at the second step. The second step is to offer the solution, but leave the details for later. So instead of just explaining everything that your service is about right at that moment, you want to break it up into pieces that is more digestible for the client. You are just reassuring them that they are in the right place if their answer to the previous question was yes. So even if you do want to introduce yourself in your video introduction, this is not a good time because you're not reassuring the client that they are in the right place. So never skip step number 1 and 2. You can leave your self-introduction for later, but try to keep this second step only for reassuring the client that they are in the right place. Let's take a look at some examples. Well, now you can with my help. Don't worry because that problem is easy to fix. Well, now there is a solution to that problem and it's right in front of you. In 3 weeks, I can get you there. So these sentences are reassuring the client that they are in the right place and you are the right freelancer to help them with their problem. So it could be something general like this, or you could add in a specific detail. For example, in 3 weeks, I will get you number 1 on Google. So you could add that tiny detail that relates to your service, or you could go with something general like these. Let's take a look at the third step. Simplify your business as much as possible. Now, this could be about your business. Maybe you are an agency on Upwork, or it could be about your service alone. So you just want to quickly give an introduction about what you do. You want to just explain it in a really general way. Don't get too technical and don't add too much details. Talk as if you're explaining your business to someone who has no idea and has never heard of your business. For example, if your service is about creating websites, instead of explaining them what PHP, HTML, and all these things are, you can just tell them something like, I create e-commerce websites where people can easily shop and your business can grow. So you're staying away from explaining how the website works, the steps that it takes to create that website, and all the technical details that is of no help to the client, and it would just confuse them because they don't know what those website terms are. So don't get too technical and just try to simplify it in the best way that you can. Let's take a look at some examples. All it takes is for you to give me the required details and I can get you that website. And don't worry, the details are pretty easy to find. So I'm reassuring them, I'm telling them how this is going to work, and then in the end, I'm just reassuring them that it's not that difficult. With my expert advice, your website will be number 1 on Google. My writing style is easy to understand and it's perfect for your blog. I can take your long videos and make engaging content from them. So you're telling them what you can do in a really simple manner. You're not getting into the details. You're just telling them that the process they would have with you as a freelancer is rather simple and it's not going to be that difficult because the client has been looking for different types of freelancers and the number one fear that they have is that they may come across a freelancer that is difficult to understand and difficult to work with. So right here, you're just reassuring them that everything will be this simple and you will get the job done. So right over here, you can add a tiny detail about your service. For example, required detail for website. Number 1 on Google. It's related to the service that you're doing. Your writing style indicates that you are a writer and you write things for a blog. Long videos and make engaging content, then you are an editor. So you're just adding in a little spark of what you do, and you're just telling them that I'm the right person for this job. Let's take a look at the next step. Bring in your experience, and if you don't have any, show sample work. So we saw how we can get sample work from fake client websites. If you were a freelancer before, you can just bring in your experience. But if you don't and you just started, you can bring in your sample work. Just put it on this screen. You can also bring in the stuff you did for previous clients. Depends on what type of freelancer you are. Here are some examples. With over 200 clients satisfied, I look to spread my expert advice across other companies. As a specialist with 10 years of experience, my goal is to share the things I've learned to help others. I've made over 50 logos and all my clients now enjoy a remarkable branding. I've been told by many clients that they have wished that they found me sooner. So these things are just showing in your experience. It could be the number of clients, the number of items that you produced, or the number of years you've been in this industry. But again, if you don't have any of these, you're just starting out as a freelancer, just bring in the sample work that you created, put it on the screen and just talk about, for example, I know how to design logos in different styles. I know how to create different types of websites. For example, you would bring in an e-commerce website, a informational one, and just put in what you've made on the screen if you don't have any of these information. And the next step is to explain these steps that your business would have or your service. So you want to explain the process of working with you in the most simple way possible. Again, stay away from details that would otherwise confuse the client. You don't want to get too technical with what you do. You just want to explain your business in a very fast way, in a simple way, as if the client has no idea about what your industry is. You don't want to give them way too much information to digest. You don't want to make them feel bad about not knowing what, let's say, a website is. And you just want to quickly explain the steps that it would take for you to go from the start to the finish of this project. All it takes is for you to give me the name of your company and the industry that you're in. It's that simple. I'll first analyze your website and then I'll get started on improving the text. In no time, you'll have more engaging text on your website. Just give me a link of all the videos you wish to edit, and they will be turned into something awesome. Upload your photos to the Dropbox link and then receive amazing photo edits. So in a really simple sentence, I'm summing up the service that I'm doing. These are some examples. We have a photo editing service right here. We have a video editing service. We got a copywriter service, or someone who just writes text on website. And we have a logo design service. So these are different services, and I'm just telling them what they have to do and that it's really simple. I'm not giving them a hard time. I'm just here to reassure them that the process with me would be very simple and I will not waste their time. I will just give them exactly what they're looking for and they will not regret working with me. So write in the process that it would take for you to start the project. It depends on what type of service you're doing, but this is a general idea of what you should write. So those were some steps that you can take. In the next lesson, we're going to wrap things up and see how we can conclude our video introduction.